What's up YouTube, back with another video, and today I'm gonna talk about release timings here on 2K23. A lot of people are struggling with shooting right now, and it's kind of always like that. When the game first came out, people struggle shooting the ball until they get used to the game, but this time is a little different because 2K added a new setting which you can adjust your release timing, and that makes things a lot more complicated. And I don't have any stats or numbers or anything like that. This is just based on my experiences, my opinions, and what I've used. And so far, from what I can tell, there is no like best setting really, but early and late seem to be the two most popular options right now and the two most consistent. But a lot of it just depends. Like, it depends on the jump shot itself, it depends on what modes you play, how you play, like the type of shots you take, and personal preference. So when I'm on a park, I use early release timing and I use Rudy Gage jump shot because I feel like his jump shot on early feels good, and I'm able to green consistently even though I don't have a lot of shooting badges and I have like a 77-3. I'm still able to green, but I'm mostly shooting catch and shoot shots. I'm not really shooting off the dribble. And in play now, it gets more complicated because there are players and teams that I like on late, and then there's players and teams I like on early. So in my first video when I played with the Cavs, I was using late timing and I was still greening pretty consistently. In my first game, I hit at least 1-3 with 6 different players, and I was also shooting those mid-range fades. And I haven't played online with any other teams, but I was in practice with a lot of different players, and I practice on Hall of Fame. So whether it's just practicing plays in freestyle, scrimmage mode, I like different release timings for different players. So for the Clippers, I like Paul George and Kawhi shots on late, but for the Nets, I like KD and Kyrie shot on early. For the Celtics, I like Tatum shot on late, but I like Jaylen Brown shot on early. For the Sixers, I like Embiid shot on late, but Harden on very late or late. Like very late and late were both like kind of good, but I actually like the very late with Harden shot. It sounds kind of weird. Even with the Suns, I liked Devin Booker's shot on very late. When I put it on very late, I green like 13 in a row or something like that. But if I'm in a real game, am I gonna put my release timing on very late just so I could hit a couple more shots with Devin Booker and then miss with everybody else? And then you have players that were kind of in the middle, like Steph and Clay were kind of in the middle, early or late. Really didn't matter too much. At that point, it's personal preference. Luka was another one for me, like early or late, kind of really didn't matter too much. It's just personal preference. But his teammate Christian Wood, I liked his shot on early. And then you have players like Seth Curry and Dame. I didn't like their shots at all, no matter what I put it on. I couldn't hit more than like 3 or 4 in a row. And it gets more complicated than that because, like I said, it depends on the type of shots you take. So when I play now, and depending on the play that I'm using, I take a lot of mid-range fades and pull-ups and step backs, post fades, and shots like that. So Paul George, for example, I like his jump shot on late, but I like his fade on early. So at that point, it's like, what do I do? And you also got to think about actual in-game usability. Like in practice, it's just a lot easier to focus on your shot and shoot, but when you're in the game, you got a lot of other things going on and a lot of other things you got to think about. And I think 2K Labs just made a video saying that when you get contested, it actually impacts your release. So that's just another thing that is a factor when it comes to shooting. So I guess it's good that 2K added this option or this setting to, give you more control, but at the same time, it also made the game more complicated than it needed to be. So for right now, I'm using early on the park with Rudy Gage jump shot. That might end up changing sometime in the future. For play now, on the other hand, I still don't know. I might keep rocking with late just because I feel like since late is the default, it would be the most consistent option across all these different jump shots and all these different players, whereas the other ones may not be as consistent, but they have more upside, especially with certain players and certain shots. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know how y'all feel in the comments. As always, hope this helped you. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more content.